What They Become is the mid-season finale for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 10. I know I haven't done a review for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a while. It's not because I stopped watching. I have still been watching this show, but man, especially after this episode, wow. Just wow. Finally, this show has stepped up and become a pretty awesome show. I mean, the last couple episodes, I admit, were getting good and a lot of stuff was happening. They were pushing the story forward, but I feel like this episode especially cements it. And it really does feel like a lot of superhero stuff is going on with this show. It's what this show should have been from the beginning. But let's start with the beginning. We see that May and all of the crew on the plane, they successfully avert getting shot down by Hydra. And I just want to mention right now, the whole kind of an ongoing running joke now. Patton Oswalt as the clones or twins. I mean, I don't know exactly what. Like, I think they're clones. But they talk about them being brothers. So maybe they are just brothers. Maybe there was 3 of them. But I kind of think it's a little too silly. I like Patton Oswalt. I'm glad that he's on the show. And when they killed him last season, I was glad that they found a way to bring him back. But the jokes they were doing with the 2 of him, it's just, alright, I don't know. Any joke that they do with that, I'm not finding myself laughing. So, Infected Mac, that really caught me by surprise last episode. And I felt bad for the character. He sort of turned into this mindless, hulked out zombie type of a thing. Hunter and Bobby, I've liked Bobby this whole time, Adrian Palicki. Hunter, Lance, I still don't like him. Now, he's tolerable now that him and Bobby are finally getting along and they're not bickering back and forth like kindergarten. So he's tolerable now, but still, they write lines for him. And, like, he's constantly trying to say funny things when they're in the middle of action. And I never laugh. Never. Ever. So he's become one of those characters that I kind of want to see get killed off. Just because. Fitz and Simmons, they had some stuff in this episode, but last episode more so of them and how screwed up their whole relationship is now. I love that. I can't stress enough how much more I care about these two than I did last season. It's amazing. Now, this episode, the big scene, I'd say until the end, was when Skye met her father finally. And that was a powerful scene. I love the acting in it. Her father, that guy just really sold the emotion on playing this person who, you know, we believed was evil. And at the end of the day, maybe he is evil. Who knows? But he doesn't feel like he's the bad guy. And he genuinely wanted to make this important for Skye. He wants to do what's right by her. And there's a lot of things about that was creepy, but also you felt the love that he had for her. I also loved how creeped out Skye was by it all, and she didn't really know how to react to it. And then the moment when Whitehall basically forces Skye to touch the thing, and she does, and it confirms that Whitehall knew who Skye was, or he figured it out. And that also lets him figure out who Skye's father was. And first of all, I love the moment when Skye knocked the one Hydra guy out, and then her father knocked the other one out, and then Ward put a gun out. Like, the 3 of them all turned on Whitehall. That was a very awesome moment. But of course, doesn't really matter though, because they all get tied up in the downstairs. But then Coulson and his team comes in, and they have a pretty nice shootout with Hydra. And I guess the moment when Skye's father, who we still don't know him by name, but that changes after the end of this episode. Now, his goal was to kill Whitehall because Whitehall killed Sky's mother, and he didn't get to do it, though, because Coulson shot Whitehall down. And that surprised me, the way how they just took Whitehall out. I don't know what that means by the cliffhanger of the episode, but it looked like, anyways, Whitehall was dead. And Sky's father going after Coulson was interesting. And then Sky shoots Ward after he untied her. Now, don't get me wrong, Ward is a bad guy. I mean, he's done some deplorable things. He, even if he doesn't want to admit it, was working for Hydra for a long time. He's killed a lot of people. So I get why Sky did it. It's not like I'm expecting her to trust him or feel bad for him or anything, so I'm glad that didn't happen. In many ways, I'm glad that she shot him, but I was just surprised by it. It caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. Then, when she stops her father from almost killing Coulson, her father finally says out loud what her real name is. He called her Daisy. Now, I admit it didn't mean anything to me. I didn't know what Daisy meant, but I knew it had to be something. So I instantly, during the commercial, I Googled Daisy Marvel. And this whole character shows up. Daisy Johnson, who is from the comic books, who clearly this is who Sky is based off. And reading Daisy's backstory, everything that's going on with her, her abilities, and what happened to her parents, and her being sort of taken in by S.H.I.E.L.D., it mirrors everything that they've done with Sky. It's almost eerie, because clearly this is the character who the writers have based Sky on this whole entire time since Season 1. And that just surprises me, because I initially thought maybe they didn't know who Sky was supposed to be, that I thought maybe they were writing her as they went. Clearly that wasn't the case. Clearly they knew who she was going to be. And just, so now knowing who Sky is, and knowing that she is from the comics, what character she is, how close this show is doing with her as a character, and even reading her abilities and stuff, it was fascinating to finally know all of this. And it made me like and appreciate Sky so much more, even though I already did like her. I'm probably one of the few people who's liked Sky all the way through. But still, it was nice to get that closure. And then when she goes down after Raina, because Raina's going to that pyramid place, Coulson going down after them and coming face to face with Mac, I thought was pretty hilarious. How Coulson's reaction was, really? Again? We're gonna do this again? And then Triplet even ran down there, and I was happy, because I was like, wow, Triplet has gotten a lot to do this episode. It feels like he's gotten probably the most he's done this season. But clearly it was because they just fucking killed him in this finale, mid-season finale, and I can't tell you how pissed off I am by that. I've been complaining this whole season how much I've liked Triplet, how much I like the actor, how much I like the character, how funny I think he is. He's just naturally charismatic and likable. But yet, I shouldn't like him as much as I do, because the show hasn't done anything with him. I mean, sure, you could say that they did a little bit with him last season, but this season especially, he was wasted. And some people commented on my videos and said, oh, the season's young, I'm sure they have plans for him, I'm sure they'll do something with him. And I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt, but clearly that wasn't the case. Clearly they just fucking killed him. And clearly that annoyed me. But I will admit, the ending of this episode was pretty epic. You know, how Raina and then Sky, because of this stone thing, they all turned into rocks. And I didn't know what was happening. I mean, I didn't think Sky died, but I just thought, okay, maybe this is the cliffhanger, that she's going to be this now. But then slowly her and Raina start to break away, and you see Raina's eyes change, so I guess Raina's now something. Ever since Season 1, there has been so many theories on what Sky was. Initially, I've heard theories on her being Spider-Woman. So I thought maybe her father would say, hey, your name's Jessica Drew, but clearly that wasn't the case. Then there was talks of her being a Skrull or just an alien, and that wasn't the case either. I mostly, after last episode especially, said, alright, she has to be an Inhuman. She has to be. She has to be an Inhuman. There's really no other thing that would make sense. And I do think that's the case. The character Daisy from Marvel that she's based on is a mutant. But I feel like the Inhumans will be what mutants are for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, yeah, it was epic to see Skye use her abilities for the first time. She can create like an earthquake type of ripple, and the whole pyramid place was caving in. And that's when you see Triplet breaking apart. So that sucked. But besides that, all in all, this was a pretty great episode. I liked it a lot. I feel like because of these last couple episodes, S.H.I.E.L.D. has been stepping it up. It only sucks, though, because I feel like by this point, a lot of people have probably stopped watching or maybe gave up on the show. If you did give up, I implore you to get back into it, because right now, what they're doing is pretty awesome. And I cannot wait to see now what they do with characters like Skye, even Raina, and just seeing pretty much the aftermath of all of this. The series isn't coming back until March! I could not believe when I saw that commercial and they said, Season 2 continues in March. I'm like, March? Really? I know the plan all along, I guess, was to have the Agent Carter show in between the break. And that's great. Don't get me wrong. I love that we're going to get something in between the break. But still, March is just too goddamn far away, especially after this awesome ending. Damn! Anyways, guys, clearly I liked the episode. Let me know in the comments below if you saw this too. What did you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!